On the discussion segment today, we're talking about the Nigerian film industry, and this is an industry that I think has really morphed, from amateurish stage to a level where we can favorably compete even in the global world. Now, talking about the Nigerian film industry, it's globally recognized as the second largest film producer in the world. There are star actors, higher production values, and intensely enthusiastic participation of global audiences in the burgeoning film scene in the country. Now, despite what many have described as progress over the last couple of years, Nollywood, as we know, is encumbered with some challenges, and this to an extent mirrors the pain of the generality of the public. And that's really the truth talking about Nollywood. For me, I want to believe that we've come a long way. And the growth of the cinema, film to cinema in Nigeria has really grown, and I think I like it. I know there are a couple of movies that did very well. The numbers were really good, and we were really happy. Yes, we were really happy about the numbers. That's what they were raking in as box office, and I think that's a very, very beautiful one, because here in Nigeria we have a thing with data. We're not good with monitoring some of these things, knowing what the industry really costs, knowing we don't really have those things out there. So with the advent of this cinema thing, the growth of the cinema made sure that to some extent we could say, okay, this movie raked in about so million naira and all of that. I think that's a very good thing. But apart from the fact that we're beginning to rake in some very good numbers in the cinemas and the box office, what other areas do you think we really need to work on in the Nigerian music movie industry? Quite
a handful of them. Production, there's the place of storytelling, which has improved. It's gone from the traditional days of the legends, where you just have repetitive, okay, there's a money ritual and all of that. We're now becoming more
creative.
Yeah, more creative. More importantly, we're becoming more social conscious. There are now, discussions regards social issues that are being addressed. So when you look at it over the last 10, 15 years, there's been growth. Now, let's take movie industry in terms of, filmmaking from Living in Bondage, 1992. I'm not even talking about, the remake by Play Network. You realize that from that moment, in terms of, the production, picture quality, the audio quality and all of that, to where we are now, it has improved. Yes, probably for like a 10-year stint, we had repetitive, plots.
Exactly. There was always one particular.
It was virtually the same thing. You could easily. It was stereotypical, really. You see a Kanayo in the movie, for example. You know what it is. Money ritual. There's Patience Ozokwo, Mama G,
wickedness,
and all of that. So, but we've moved away from those, stereotypes or those restrictive.
Are you sure we've actually moved? Because when you talk about Nollywood, we've got the Yoruba, we've got the Igbo, then we've got the English. Now, if we're going to go into the Yoruba, we have all of these things, because when we say Nollywood, we're looking at all four. The English and then the major local languages. And so when we say it has moved, there are some of this local.
Maybe we should focus on the English then.
No, we shouldn't focus on English. I think we should have, a general overview. Yes, a blanket discussion. So, I mean, if you're listening and you're a film producer, you know what to work on. For me, when I watch Yoruba, some of the Yoruba films, sometimes I'm appalled. I look at the storyline, I'm like, I can't even have a young girl watch this, because I feel it's going to ruin her thinking. Her ideology of relationships and what a love relationship should be is going to be altered. Her ideology of so many things will be altered, because you see some stories and you're wondering, what was this person thinking?
Was there really an editor for
Do you understand? Or is it that somebody has the money, has the funds, and then you just go on ahead and produce a movie or something? And so with regards to what I just talked about, I feel that some of these groups, like the Directors Guild, the Actors Guild of Nigeria, and some of these other groups, I feel that they should also have a say in maybe monitoring or checking out some of the storylines, checking some of the things that are really mentioned in these
one of the reasons for that will probably be the fact that certain, actors also want to be producers, and rather than employ the services of a script writer, who can actually write a movie. There's a difference between a script writer and a screenwriter. Screenwriting is different from script writing. So rather than employ services of a professional, probably to save cost, they just decide to word it themselves, and you realize that it doesn't really add up on the professional, level. Beyond that, you look at the level of acting in terms of actors getting into the characters and all. I think we've
We're
also
doing well
improved.
there. I
Yes,
think
we've
we're doing well
improved.
there. Yeah.
As I said earlier, things like the picture quality, audio quality, maybe due to advancement in technology, better equipment are used than 20 years ago. So we've improved in that aspect too. And overall, what I think is the industry definitely needs some of those experienced hands to guide the younger ones who are coming into the game, and more importantly, producers, actors need to also redevelop themselves over time.
Exactly.
Go to film schools, learn. It's not just about, oh, I study theater arts and I'm automatically, an actor. You probably need to go to film schools, especially those that are well known and, that are quite efficient in terms of developing an actor to be better. I think that we would make progress with having better actors and probably better script writings and all of that. But we can't dispute, where we are now from where we are coming from.
Absolutely. I mean, we can see the growth. It's obvious.
There was a trip to, there was 30 days in Atlanta, which won AY, the Guinness World Record at some point. You had Wedding Party, which shattered.
Those are the ones that did well.
Those are movies that have done well and projected Nigeria in a good light. You cannot dispute the fact that in terms of projection, putting Nigeria on the map, Nollywood has done that. We have our producers going to places like Toronto Film Festival.
A lot of our films are making it into those festivals, and I think that's a very good one. Even our short films are amazingly doing very well, and I think that's something we should applaud. But definitely. I also want to see the Yoruba, the Igbo, the Hausa. I also want to see them, getting there also.
It's a process. Remember, there are several challenges they also need to face. How many Yoruba movies are really in the cinemas? You have more of the English movies in the cinemas than your Yorubas or the Igbos. And you would probably want to ask yourself, if you're going to be sincere, how many, if you have, funds to get down to the cinema and watch a movie, which will you prefer? A Yoruba movie or an English movie?
English.
So it is what it is.
But then my choice, it's not because I wouldn't like to watch any of those other ones,
it's because
but because of what's on offer.
It's
because of what's been offered.
They've not gotten to that level yet. And you look at it, we've always talked about piracy as an issue. That's one of the challenges the filmmaking industry has faced over the years. Although it's better now because
I was going to say that
it's now in the movies. During the days of your video cassettes and then the transition to the CDs, you had so many pirated copies. You see 21, 31, and it's pathetic that as a producer you've spent money, you've paid actors, probably 20, 30 actors who are on that production.
And to have returns.
You've paid for the location you used in terms of renting. Probably you paid for accommodation. You paid all the workers,
feeding and everything, logistics.
And then you spend millions of naira, and at the end of the day, you can barely recoup 5 million for what you've done. It's ridiculous. So it's getting better now because so
with
many
technology,
movies
a lot of things are really getting better.
And so many movies are now projected to the cinemas. You also have streaming services. For example, King of Boys. The part 2 or season 2, as it were, was initially projected to be, go for the cinemas, and all of a sudden she had a very good deal with Netflix, and she decided to take it there. So with the advent of streaming services as well, you realize that the issue of piracy has decreased drastically.
I'm happy you mentioned the streaming thing. I'm excited about the fact that a lot of our movies are on Netflix now.
Definitely.
And beg your pardon, I'm looking forward to more, really.
That's why Netflix, as a franchise, had to have Netflix Nigeria, because they understood that the Nigerian market, the Nigerian movie industry was a big deal, and they needed to key into it. As I said earlier, the world is changing, and right now what we have is streaming services, more like your pay-per-view, where people just want to watch on the go, and all of that.
Then you're good.
And that's what you have for your streaming services. People subscribe. It's more of an over-the-top platform. It's one of those over-the-top platforms for movies precisely. And I think overall you have to give it to the caliber of movies we have, that they're able to, get onto such platforms.
All right, thank you so much. We had a great conversation, really. You want to say?
No, look at that. That's the Wedding Party you have on the screen. This was perhaps the movie that I wouldn't say ushered us into that realm of cinemas, really, because in terms of, you know, record-breaking numbers. As I said earlier, 30 Days in Atlanta did that, even had a Guinness World Record for it. But this probably changed the face of everything when it comes to movie industries in Nigeria, especially, you know, cinemas.